Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. So once again, we're back in the car to test out another new device that I just got my hands on. And today's device is the Redmi Note 9S. So in other markets, you would know this as the Redmi Note 9 Pro. But in Malaysia, where I just got my device yesterday, this is called the Redmi Note 9S. So I've been using this device for the whole of yesterday and today, and there are a couple of things that I really want to share with you guys. So let's just jump into what I really think about the Redmi Note 9S. Alright, so the device that I have here comes in interstellar grey, and apparently this is supposed to be grey, but it definitely looks a bit bluish to my eyes. Alright, so in terms of build quality, obviously this is a budget phone that costs under $200 here in Malaysia, but overall it feels alright to the hands. It definitely does not feel like the most expensive device out there, and if you ask me, honestly speaking, this actually feels very plasticky to me. So although we have a glass back at the back, note that this captures a lot of fingerprints very easily. So it's nice to look at, but as soon as you start using it, obviously without a case, it just collects all these kind of fingerprints on the back of the device, and yeah. Alright, so moving on to the front, we do have a LCD display right here, and this is where I'm going to rant a lot. So alright guys, so please hear me out. I don't hate Redmi, I actually like Redmi a lot, and this time I'm just very upset with the display that we're getting on the Redmi Note 9S. I mean, first up, it is already not the sharpest out there. The 1080p display actually looks a bit poorer to my eyes, even when I just check out normal videos. So watching videos on this thing is not a very good experience. Although I set the settings to like 1080p, it is not the sharpest out there. But the main issue I have here is with the display itself. There is a huge issue with my display, and I'm not sure if you can see it over the camera, but there is this white frame that goes all over the display, and you can see it very clearly when you're using a gray colored wallpaper. So I'm not sure if you can see it through the camera right here, but it is just so bad. Like, I'm not sure if it's the glue that is not dried up at the bottom of the panel. I can definitely see this clearer in Chrome. Let me try and show you guys over here. So it is a bit bright right now, so you can't see it over the camera, but there is just this white frame or burnout that goes all around the display, and I'm not sure if this is just my case, but I saw the feedback on the sales page on Xiaomi's website, and there are a couple of people actually pointing this out, so that is definitely a no good. And this is the first time I'm getting a brand new phone that actually has this kind of display. Yeah, so overall very upset with the display, because that is something that I feast my eyes on the most on the device, and it is very important for me. Alright, so let's move on from the negative stuff and talk about the performance of this device. So navigating is actually fine, although I do notice some kind of stuttering when I actually launch and close apps. So let me see if I can try and get it over the camera right here. So it is not always the smoothest. Browsing through websites is fine, but the thing is that sometimes when the apps close, you see it like jumping around a little bit. So it's not the smoothest out there, definitely. However, in terms of gaming, so I have a couple of games here. I'm not a huge gamer, but I play a lot of Mobile Legends. Yeah. Alright, so playing Mobile Legends on this device was actually pretty smooth. I enjoyed my experience with gaming on this device. So I'm not sure why like navigating around is not that smooth, but gaming wise is actually perfectly fine. Alright, so in terms of the benchmark scores, let me just show it to you guys very quickly. I managed to get a score of 250,000 here on the Redmi Note 9S, but comparing it side to side with the Redmi Note 8 Pro, I realized that the score is way off. Like, I'm getting 250k, but the Note 8 Pro is getting 290k. Like, what's the deal here, man? This is supposed to be the newer, more powerful device, but yeah, this is what you get. And if I recall my experience with the Redmi Note 8 Pro correctly, I remember that it was a great device. I loved it. Yeah, so anyways, just in terms of smoothness and just navigation, it might not be the smoothest out there, but yeah, this is a budget phone, so maybe you can forgive it for that. Alright, so my next point I want to talk about is the speakers on this device. So obviously we're having a single firing speaker here, so it's not the loudest. It doesn't sound too bad as well, it's not the worst out there, but just bear in mind that you're getting a very average single firing speaker here. The good news is you still have that headphone jack, which I definitely appreciate, and that is great. Moving on to the battery, we do have a battery that lasts a full day on one single charge, so that is great, but unfortunately we don't have the fastest charging here. So let me just show you very quickly what came in the box. This is what came in the box. According to the stats on the side, it says this is a 22.5 watt charger. So charging it hasn't been the quickest, obviously, but then again, it is obviously still better than those slower chargers, so I'm going to forgive it for that. The fact that it can last a full day on one single charge is definitely good in my books. Alright, last but not least, guys, let's talk about the most important part. Okay, maybe the second most, and that is the cameras that we have on the back. So obviously this is a quad-core camera setup, and we have this 48 megapixel sensor by Samsung this time on the back. And what I can say is that the results are actually pretty okay. Let me just show you guys a couple of samples that I took over these 2 days. So images that I shot in the day were actually pretty alright. They were very nice, and if you look at this shot, I really like the way I was able to capture the clouds before the thunderstorm, and it looks great. So daytime shots are obviously pretty good. These days you can't really go wrong with daytime shots. But in terms of night mode, I noticed that it wasn't the best out there. In fact, I recall the Redmi Note 8 Pro or maybe even the Realme 6 getting better night mode images. But this is what you get on the Redmi Note 9S. So overall, the camera is sort of a mixed bag, because in terms of daylight, you actually get some pretty good and decent shots, and I'm very happy with it. Macro shots turn out very well. Those wide angle shots are also pretty good. But when it comes to nighttime, it just doesn't fare too well. In terms of the selfie camera, let me just show it to you guys really quickly. I personally don't take much selfies, but it looks a bit I don't know, it could be me who's looking quite bad right here, or it is the selfie camera. But yeah, it doesn't look too pleasing to my eyes. My skin tones doesn't look too good, but yeah, it is what it is. So if you're looking for the best selfie camera out there, this is definitely not going to cut it. The good news is it still comes with this portrait mode, which is, it works. Yeah, so yeah, that's it for the selfie camera. Alright guys, all in all, if you ask me whether I would recommend this device to anyone, I would say that my quick answer would actually be no. This is the first Redmi Note series that I won't actually recommend, and the reason for that is because of that poor display. I mean, this is the thing that you'll be looking at for the most time when you look at your device, and it's just not that good. So the display is really poor, and apart from that, the camera is also slightly above average, I would say, but night mode just doesn't cut it too well. Overall, the only thing that I can say is good about this phone is that it costs really cheap. It is very affordable, the pricing is great, and yeah, you do get a large display, and maybe if you don't use wallpapers of these colors, you can actually still get a pretty decent screen. Alright guys, let me know what you think. Is this something that you're considering buying, or if you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!